My name I cannot reveal here, but for many years I walked as a servant of the shadows. I stood in the hidden gatherings of witches. I learned their laws, their codes, and their secret strategies. And what I am about to tell you, many people dismiss until it is too late. Because witches do not always fly in the night sky with broomsticks. They do not always chant loudly around fires. No, the most dangerous witches are the ones who influence you silently without your awareness. They sit beside you, they smile at you, they shake your hands, and yet your mind, your will, your very destiny may already be under their control. I will now reveal what I once practiced. The unseen ways witches manipulate human lives without being detected. I was drawn into witchcraft when I was just 17. At the beginning, it looked harmless. Candles, chants, small rituals that seemed spiritual and innocent. What I didn't realize was that every small act was preparing me for darker assignments. One of the greatest missions they gave me was not to kill or destroy openly, but to dominate silently. They told me, power is not always found in death. Power is found in control. If you can control a person's mind, you never need to kill him. He will eventually ruin himself. That is what witches specialize in: remote control of human destinies. Let me explain how we did it. The first method was thought infiltration. This is when we project thoughts. Sometimes the idea in your head is not actually yours, yet it sounds exactly like your own inner voice. We would sit in a circle, chant incantations, and call upon spirits to insert deceptive thoughts into someone's mind. You might wake up thinking, I should call that man, or I don't feel like praying today, or maybe I should just give up on this business. You assume it's your thought, but it was planted. And once you agree with that thought, you surrender a part of your control. The second way was emotional manipulation. We learned how to trigger emotions at will: anger, lust, sadness, fear, each one a weapon. For example, if we wanted to destroy a pastor, we would awaken lustful desires, attaching spiritual cords to pull him into moral downfall. If we wanted to ruin a woman's peace, we would fill her heart with fear until she made choices that led her into chaos. Control through emotions was far more effective than control through force, because when emotions are stirred, people justify their own destruction. The third technique was through food and gifts. This is one of the oldest but most powerful channels. Food carries spiritual energy. When you eat something that has been spoken over, your spiritual defenses can weaken. That is why many people feel strange after certain meals: headaches, nightmares, sudden anger, or unexpected loss. I remember preparing a meal for a wealthy man in Enugu. Just one meal. He didn't die, but within weeks his life began to fall apart. His contracts failed, his wife turned against him, and every choice he made drew him deeper into ruin. Why? Because once you eat from the table of a witch, access is granted. The fourth way was through sexual encounters. This was one of the fastest channels of witchcraft. A single sexual act could tie two souls together. We called it soul wiring. After sleeping with someone, a witch didn't need to chase them physically. The connection was already formed. Their dreams would change. Their hunger for prayer would vanish. Their finances would start to drain. The witch wouldn't even have to appear again. The link was already alive. Control had been sealed through that encounter. The fifth method was through words and spoken curses. People often underestimate the power of speech. Every curse pronounced with focus and intent becomes a spiritual hook in someone's life. Witches do not need to hit you or harm you physically. They simply speak. And if you are not protected spiritually, those words become invisible chains. I once witnessed an entire family in Port Harcourt destroyed because a single witch in their compound spoke a curse. None of you will ever marry. 10 years later, every daughter was unmarried, every son's engagement failed. That was invisible control, unseen yet devastatingly real. The sixth channel was through dreams. Dreams are one of witchcraft's favorite territories. In dreams, witches can plant seeds. We would enter the dreams of people to deposit fear, loss, or sickness. If the dreamer accepted what they saw, eating in the dream, having sexual encounters, signing documents, then the covenant was sealed. Dreams are not just images, they are spiritual agreements. If you don't cancel them, you carry them into your waking life, and what was planted begins to grow. The seventh form of control came through unforgiveness and bitterness. This was the most subtle but also one of the strongest. A person who refuses to forgive opens their heart like fertile ground for dark planting. We would whisper to them, remind them of pain, replay their hurts, and the more they nursed the bitterness, the easier it became to control them. Because a bitter soul is a perfect soil, anything can be sown there, and it will grow quickly. Many people unknowingly live under spiritual influence simply because they refuse to let go of offense. Now listen carefully. Witches do not always appear with blood, shrines, or strange marks. Their most effective weapon is silent control. They study human weakness, and once they find an opening, they establish influence that operates unseen. If you do not stay spiritually alert, you might already be under an invisible chain without realizing it. But there is hope. There is a name that breaks every form of manipulation, a power that no darkness can resist. The name of Jesus Christ. I was once the controller, the manipulator, but when I encountered the power of the cross, every chain shattered. Light broke through every dark covenant. Today, I speak not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Be alert. Guard your mind fiercely. Watch what you eat. Guard your emotions. Resist lust. Cancel bad dreams immediately. Refuse to harbor bitterness. And above all, stay under the covering of Jesus Christ, because only light can overcome the shadows. If you have learned something from what you've read tonight, do not keep it to yourself. Share this truth so that others can awaken to the reality of unseen control. Leave a word below. I refuse to be controlled in the name of Jesus. And if you wish to hear more revelations like this, follow Whispers Beyond the Veil, for what is hidden in darkness must always be brought to light. I was once the controller, but now I am free, and you can be free too.